helping us to flesh out the goings-on in today's trial is constitutional scholar and former president of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Domingo Igon Cayosa. Welcome back to The Big Story, Attorney Cayosa.
Good evening, Ses. Magandang gabi sa ating mga kababayan.
Before we go to the oral arguments of the prosecution and defense, shall we go to Article 4, where the prosecution seems to be ready to close with their announcement of the withdrawal of witnesses that they intended to present? Did they already show enough evidence on Article 4?
That's a very welcome development, and I think from what has been admitted and what has transpired, what was testified on, and all the documentary evidence, including the videos, the prosecution has already established the fact that those utterances and threats were made, the circumstances surrounding them, as well as other related corroborating statements and investigations delving into the detail of this issue. And so I think that's a very welcome development. It's good that finally the parties, especially the councils, and we see also the part of the Senate, that they are sensitive to the sentiments and observations of people outside of the impeachment court. I think it's a general observation that the first 2 weeks have been focused too much on technicalities, and there's a need to simplify the issues and the facts and to abbreviate the proceedings.
Sa tingin ninyo, as Congressman Defensor said, tama na ang timpla?
I think so, yes. There were two competent witnesses. They knew what they were talking about, and they were sufficiently cross-examined by the defense. So you cannot squeeze too much mileage out of facts that practically everyone already knows about.
Although with the presentation of Director Melvin Matibag on Tuesday, puro law enforcement ang witnesses nila. The other witnesses could have presented a different perspective.
Well, that's for the defense perhaps to introduce. We have to remember that this is only evidence for the prosecution says. So they'll be given a chance to introduce whoever witness they would think is appropriate to prove their points.
There were concerns during their press conference from the media na parang bitin, baka it's a miscalculation on their part because of the public's impatience.
Well, we cannot avoid that, but for those who know the law and the procedure, and both sides are represented by competent counsels. So we have to give that to them. So I suppose they have examined and weighed all the evidence and testimonies that have been presented so far, and it's their call. But, we welcome that. Any abbreviation of this proceeding is welcome for the good of everyone, both parties and the country as a whole.
Right. Now, let's go to the presentation of the prosecution and defense pertaining to the financial records of the VP. Congressman Defensor said, hindi confidential ang katotohanan. Did he lay enough basis for the opening of the records or for the subpoena to be granted by the impeachment court?
I think so. Both sides, you have to understand that even before the oral arguments, they already submitted their written position papers on the matter.
Right.
And these issues are not new. These were already discussed and put to the front at the very start of the investigation of the House Committee on Justice. So it's nothing new. I suppose everyone had the chance and the time to research on this. So, and it's commendable, as the presiding officer stated, the conduct, the depth, and the brevity of the presentation of the oral arguments from both sides is commendable. They're disciplined, and we hope that will continue. No grandstanding. Just lay your arguments and your and the basis for your arguments and your positions calmly, no drama, no, not much emotion, and let the judges decide.
Okay. Now, there was an interesting exchange on the Supreme Court decision in Duterte versus HOR, where Attorney Poa cited uh, a portion of that decision where hindi dapat overbroad yung scope ng impeachment. But Congressman Jokno cited in his response, said obiter dicta lang yun, kumbaga parang side comment lang. So uh, please elucidate on this para maintindihan po namin, talaga bang that constitutes now law of the land? Because when Congressman Jokno pointed out that during the Corona impeachment trial, this was allowed, but Attorney Poa said this was before that decision by the Supreme Court.
Well, the doctrine of a case becomes doctrine, or the rule of the case, or becomes law in effect only if it is the ruling or the rationale or the citations pertaining to the issue in that particular case. And I think it was smart, and we would expect that from the prosecution to call that out, because we could understand any lawyer can pick out and take portions from a decision or a law that, of course, favors his client. But you have to be more thorough and careful than that, because unfortunately, the Supreme Court, when it comes up with decisions, they settle the main issue, the real issue, and then they add, flores and some other things that are not necessary to really decide the constitutional issue in a case. So that's what we call obiter. Parang pasakalye lang yan, surpluses. It's
in
not
passing,
really...
in passing,
Yes.
parang ganun.
Yes, they're not necessary. So they're surpluses. So it doesn't really settle the particular issue. So if that's the case, it is settled the doctrine that they are not really the controlling statements or quotations or reasons. So you go back to a case where that particular issue was settled, and that's where you cite jurisprudence or the decision of the Supreme Court. So I think it was...
Kasi po hindi yun ang main issue dun sa desisyon ng Supreme Court. Tama po ba?
Yes. Yes. So iba kasi yung issue dito sa Duterte case. It was about the express impeachment. Hindi naman yung mga evidence and yung mga opening or subpoena, getting subpoenas for documents or records.
Okay. And still on the matter of approving that subpoena, Congressman Jokno cited that in the Corona impeachment case or trial, it was Senator Alan Peter Cayetano who asked that they go back to the opening balance of the account or of then Chief Justice Corona. So will that come to bite him now if in case he opposes the granting of the subpoena?
Well, one indication of fairness or integrity of any decision is that, given similar situations, you would maintain your earlier position. So it is for you to explain now why you are taking a different stand. So, it's very challenging for anybody to change his mind. Or, as judges, or even as persons, as human beings, you are measured by the consistency of your stand and similar things. So I think it was wise for Congressman Jokno to raise that, to bring it very close to the impeachment court. They were there during the Corona impeachment. We cannot contemplate or support a position where if it's a different respondent, you rule differently, given the same circumstances and the same constitution, the same powers of the Senate, and the same laws.
So his vote will be watched closely?
Yeah, of course, we should watch everyone, but for those who've been very vocal and those suspected of being something else beyond being a judge, everybody would be watching them and everybody would be critical about their
Mhm.
decisions.
Well, a curious thing, before they could even begin, um, Senator Robin Padilla stood up, and then it was Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, and then his sister, pertaining to the investigation into the 2019 SEA Games hosting by the Philippines. Does this come at an unfortunate time? Why only now? I mean, it's been the event happened in 2019.
But we don't know the details of this. But if you listen very carefully to what the NBI director said, these are existing cases. These are not new cases.
Mm,
It only reveals the fact that in our country, depending who you are, sometimes the cases against you are shelved for the meantime.
mhm,
So if these are existing active cases, there's nothing wrong with
mhm,
pursuing them. Of
mhm,
course, they have to look at the context of how he said this. Was it really a threat? And if you're innocent, you should not be threatened by any of these things. So we don't know. I suppose it was also fair for them to wait for Director Matibag
mhm,
before they make all of these claims. Let's hear
mhm,
his side. But, a sitting senator or even an impeachment court judge cannot exempt himself and
mhm,
stop any investigation against him if there's enough basis. We have to understand that these are not new cases.
mhm.
So we will
It's
see
not
by
like
Monday.
the case was revived just now, but it's been an active case.
Yes,
Mhm.
at that time it was a very controversial case, but
Yes,
we don't
yes.
know what happened to them. So should we not welcome if all of this, and not only that of
Mhm,
uh, Senator Kay, everybody else, as we try the impeachment case where there's much allegation about irregularities and corruption,
mhm,
should we not finish this quickly and go to the other cases?
mhm,
It should be
mhm.
sana all.
Tama naman po. We can't leave that hanging as well.
Yes, and everybody who has been tarnished or accused or suspected of
Mhm,
any anomaly in that,
mhm,
they should welcome that this
mhm,
case are finished and brought to their logical conclusion.
mhm. Another, going back to the subpoena argument, it was pointed out by Attorney Poa in his argumentation that the AMLA report, which is now also part of the evidence submitted by the prosecution, was obtained illegally because they are not supposed to reveal that publicly in the Justice Committee hearing of the House. Is he correct in saying that?
And I doubt the legal basis for him saying that. So we have to understand that these are public records. These are not private property. And even if they are private, your right to privacy is not absolute. Especially so if you are a public official, and especially so if these documents are necessary to resolve a pending case. That's very basic. The judiciary, the judicial branch, any court, or in this case, the impeachment court,
Mhm,
can legally subpoena documents that are material and relevant to the case at hand.
mhm,
The broader doctrine there is that you cannot use your right to privacy or even an existing
mhm,
law to shield you from a legitimate investigation and to block the truth from coming out. So
mhm,
I don't know where's that coming from, but it's for the senators to look at the details of their citations. They submitted anyway a lengthy memorandum. I suppose many of those things could not be covered in a 10-minute oral
mhm,
argument.
mhm,
So it's for the staff of the senators or the senators themselves to check out the
mhm.
citations.
Okay. Now, the second week is done. Ano po ang assessment niyo so far ng conduct of the impeachment court?
Well, it's water under the bridge. In hindsight, now after all the admissions and after all what we've heard from the two witnesses, it seems there are just too many witnesses listed in the both sides. So
Mhm.
it's also obvious that the Senate did not make use of the pre-trial stage to discover more things and get the parties to agree on facts that cannot be disputed anymore. And that's why we're wasting a lot of time on details that should not be necessary anymore.
Mhm.
Uh, Thirdly, it's obvious that the Senate itself, the impeachment court, is divided. And then we also see an undue, at least the past 2 weeks, undue direction or emphasis on technicalities. When in fact, the issues here, the facts are very simple, the issues are very simple. The Senate should move towards reframing the issues and the arguments so that we go directly to the point, not on the peripherals and the technicalities.
Mhm.
So, but we also see that because I suppose they hear being politicians, they're also sensitive to what others say, and it's quite prevalent and common. That practically everybody says we're bored by all these details. Tumbukin na natin ano bang katotohanan. Ito ba
Even
impeach of conscience and they are liable or is the
Opo.
respondent liable?
Opo. So the 90-day timeline is still doable, achievable.
I think so. If they want to, it's also surprising. Of course, they have many reasons, but it's surprising that they would need the weekend to review again their research on these issues because the issue on for example, the subpoenas, these are not new issues. I suppose and we expect that their staff have done their research. We suppose that the position papers are quite exhaustive.
Mhm.
So mukhang mas prepared yung mga abogado ng magkabilang panig kesa sa mga hukom.
O yun
We
na
have
nga eh, hindi po sana kung gusto nilang pabilisin, ngayon na sila nagdesisyon.
Yeah, I mean, we hope or we expect and we hope that the Senate impeachment court will do better, do more homework, and they should be more prepared than the parties.
Mhm.
Hindi maganda yung passive sila and then hintayin muna natin and then saka sila magtatanong. Because if they do their homework, there'll be less questions.
Mhm.
Mas mabilis ang proseso.
It was observed as well that some senators would leave the premises and, come back later on. Hindi ho ba
That's
dapat makita na parang because it's really their role to be able to be judicious in their decisions and to really weigh what's presented to them.
Well, that's true. That's a valid observation. As we all claim, this is a very important case. So they should give priority to it. We could understand if you have to go to the comfort room for to relieve yourself in some very essential things. But if you're meeting somebody else there, you should schedule that some other time, not at the time you're there. So it is very important, says, for the senators not only to help us discover the truth and for them to weigh the evidence and decide. It's equally important that they show the public that sineseryoso nila ito, fair sila, walang kinikinigan because the integrity and credibility of the impeachment court is also very important for our people to accept whatever verdict they may come up with.
They are on trial as well in a manner of speaking. Attorney.
Definitely. We have to understand they are elected representatives of the people every election time. We also measure them and give back to them what we perceive them to be. Are they worthy of being elected? Can we trust these people? Are they doing the job well? Even even all of us says the whole nation I think is at trial here because if our country says okay lang mga ito, and the senators as politicians is quasi-political see that we don't care about corruption, we don't care about abusing power, we don't care about violence, and then our threshold for forgiveness or for justifying these things is very high, hindi tayo galit, hindi tayo sawa, then the senators might just adopt our thinking as a country and say, hindi naman galit, hindi naman agrabyado ang taong bayan dito. Okay lang naman pala kasi kalakalan na yan, di ba? Everybody else does it. So, huwag na lang tayo mag-convict. That's possible. So, in that sense, this country, every Filipino is also at trial here.
You're right. You're right. Now, how to keep, final question, how to keep the ordinary Filipino interested? You go outside and they're going about their business, eking a livelihood, and not really paying much attention, I guess, until there are recaps from yung mga sinusundan po nilang news or bloggers. Paano po,
Well,
how can we keep them interested? What is
well,
at
the
stake
rule,
here?
well, that very crucial ang role ng mass media dito, especially the professional journalists like you who vet things out, you hear both sides, because the challenge now is the battle also, the politics of this is the battle of the hearts and minds of the people,
Right.
and even the values as a people, di ba? So are we numb to dishonesty? Are we numb to abuse, to violence? May pinanggalingan na tayo eh. So nalimutan na ba natin yan? O since hopeless na tayo, okay na lang yan. So the role of mass media is to bring forward the accurate facts and to generate feedback from different people, not only lawyers, but ordinary people, and give that back to the senators and to insist that there is transparency. Because otherwise, if you don't do that, you don't do your job well, you're correct. People will get disinterested, and guess what? The trolls are not even here. They're not trolls. These are algorithms. These are foreign companies or groups, perhaps, na bayaran lang. Yun ang mamamayani. So baka maniniwala ang taong bayan dun sa mga fake news, mga fake claims, mga slanting misrepresentations, and that would be very unfortunate for this country. Na nabubuo yung national consciousness and our level of tolerance or our anger towards kakurakutan, abuso, katiwian. This is shaped by not the reality, but fake news.
Right. We are on trial as well. Marami pong salamat and thank you for that reminder. Always a pleasure having you on the program and sharing your insights, Attorney Igon Cayosa. Salamat po.